Like, why is everybody testing me today?
You're like, snowball.
Yeah, exactly. So I had 2 snowballs in my face
Mm.
with a Mountain Dew because I do the dew, bruh. Anyways.
Ooh.
Anyways.
It's not a code red though, right? Or Bahama
No,
Blast.
I was gonna get a code red, but they didn't have a diet one. Now that AIDS gone, this is Slashers, your favorite horror podcast about your favorite horror media. It is me, your friend Mikey, here with my favorite co-host Lance. And Aid, where did she go?
Get her
Oh,
wine.
here she is. Welcome back to week number 3 of 4. Week number 4 of the Monster Mayhem, because this is our listener pick. And today, our wonderful Josh Gunn, not to be confused with Josh Brolin or Gunnar Hansen, has picked out a movie for us that I'm very excited. Actually, I'm not really excited to talk about it at all because I didn't even want to see it, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But I'm such a good podcast host. I set my ideals aside and I decided to go ahead and go through with it. So you're welcome, Gunn. But before we get into that, how have you guys been doing? Have y'all seen anything interesting worth talking about? Because I saw Tarot the other day, and
Oh my God. Well, I guess we're not seeing that together.
we already had this discussion. We're
Yeah, I
seeing
thought we
something
weren't doing that
else.
anyways. Yeah.
I didn't know that we had solidified it. You must have just been talking with Lance on your little private chat that y'all seem to have
Which one?
without me. Yeah.
So here's the tea on that. I decided to go do The Strangers instead because Tarot. Oh, we're going to be serenaded. But I was afraid because it came out this week and it's not doing good. I was afraid by the time we get there it was going to be gone. And then I found out The Strangers comes out. That's the premiere weekend. So I was like, oh, let's just do that. It's more on topic.
We'll watch the movie and I can show you downtown at the same time.
Perfect. But also, I'm kind of glad we didn't see Tarot together because the whole time I was like, Aid would be bitching the whole time.
Oh
It's
my
PG-13.
God. Ugh.
I don't think you'd like it.
It's not even they're PG-13, and I don't want people to think I'm all up my ass about that because I know there are a lot of great PG-13 horror films. There are lots of great ones, but there's also lots of stinkers. Sorry, Mikey, I didn't mean to cut you off. Continue.
It's okay. I enjoyed it. I was hyping it up a little bit too much because everybody was comparing it to 13 Ghosts because there's these entities that all have their own kind of like look, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but it's not really 13 Ghosts. It's entertaining. Acting was there's that large Samoan man from Spider-Man that keeps popping up in these movies, and his shtick is getting a little old for me. Like, he was cute in Spider-Man and what other else he was in recently, but now I'm like, okay, I get it. You have one character that you play.
Or the Spider-Man best friend guy, you mean?
The chunky guy? Okay. Yeah. I don't think he's that great. Like,
he was funny in Spider-Man, but maybe it's because there was a good director that like directed him right, but pretty one note. But yeah.
Did he do it actually bald or no? Well, he was in a TV show. I think it's something.
Oh yeah,
like vampire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know who he is in that, but I'm like, there are specific types of vampire things, and like a comedy doesn't do it for me. No.
It was about how vampires can't be fat.
Oh.
What?
Sign us up. Sign us up.
Yeah, it was actually kind of funny because it's everything you just kind of implemented there with your
okay. First
I need my vampires to be muscular and very feminine.
Implemented is not a word.
It is now. I like to make words up.
I
don't know if we know this.
We know.
No,
and
we
so
know.
do the people that watch our YouTube shorts.
Oh my God, that poor YouTube. We can't put the captions on because we don't know what the hell Lance is saying. I don't know. I just, I like my vampires. I like my vampires like dark and sultry.
Yeah, I like my Samoan actors like The Rock.
Yeah.
I like them like Jason Momoa.
Oh my God.
He's not Samoan.
He's Hawaiian.
He's Hawaiian.
Oh, yeah, I know that's not the same.
But most Samoans are from Hawaii, aren't they?
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
But no, have y'all seen anything, read anything?
I actually
Halloween's
just,
coming.
yeah, I just watched, I know it is coming. I'm excited. I just watched Late Night with the Devil and I loved it. I thought it was great.
Ooh,
Yeah.
good.
It's still on
So
my list. I'm
I
gonna
was
watch
really
this
excited for it.
Pick up the pace, Lance.
one. I
Lance's
know.
birthday popped up in it when they were showing a recording from 1976.
Aww.
And I'm like, oh,
It's AIDS way of saying I'm the devil. That's all it is.
We know. You're the devil in disguise, like Madonna says. We are going to host a little special sweepstakes on Instagram where we're going to buy a couple little things from Spooky Empire. And if you like our post and tag a friend or two and share it, it enters you into winning one of these little thing-a-majigs that we have. So,
yeah. So, I mean, I think this is a great idea. I'm really excited. So hopefully it'll get some of you guys to share and, listen in. And if you are in Orlando that weekend and you're happen to go to Spooky Empire, come by and say hi.
yeah. Come by, say hi, don't die.
Don't die.
But technically, you had already done that at this point, so.
Oh,
Hi.
just kidding.
This is the message to the future.
Hopefully you came by to say hi. Just kidding. Okay.
Today we're bringing you 2006, The Host, written by Bong Joon-ho. If he sounds familiar, it's because he also made the critically and highly awarded Parasite and the not so awarded Snowpiercer. Well, I remember it came out in 2006 and I saw it pretty quickly. I don't think it had a theater release here anyways. And if it did, it was probably a small run and I was not as into like the indie scene to pay attention to that. But I did watch it as soon as it came out. Fangoria was highlighting it. Everybody was highlighting it as like the new monster movie with like great special effects. And it was a water monster. So I'm already in because water monsters are my jam. Like water's already creepy by itself. Put a monster in there and there you go. I'm erect. So
Schling.
exactly.
Oh my God.
Lance.
Anyway.
Oh my god. You see how this is how he's gonna be in Florida? Every day
Yeah.
closer, it just gets
He's a child. I told you this. The hat is perfect for him.
I know. Snowballs and
So-
porn.
Pretty much. Yeah. Oh, and he's got all those little toys in the background. Look at that.
Garbage Pail Kids. Can't go wrong.
I like how
More
you change them out every episode.
More dolls.
try.
I know.
You need to get like a little black piece of paper to put behind them though, so they pop out more and we can see what they are. Anyways, The Host. So basically a quick summary that I wrote myself because I always write my own summaries. In South Korea, after an American scientist orders his subordinate to pour dangerous chemicals down the sink, a killer creature is formed in the Han River and wreaks havoc, terror, and death on the citizens. The movie starts with the comedic tone. There's a lot of, I would say, almost slapstick type characters because there's a lot of physical comedy with like tripping and like running into stuff and just being a doofus. We have a family of there's basically a little girl. The story revolves around a little girl. I'm guessing she's maybe 11, 12 ish.
Yeah, 13 or something in that area.
She's 13, yeah, because they mentioned.
I know Korean, so I translated incorrectly. Sorry.
Okay.
So she's 13, and her dad is basically just, this is not my opinion, but maybe not so efficient as a dad. He works
He's
at
horrible.
he works at a snack, it kind of looks like a food truck, but for snacks, like an ice cream truck type thing with his dad, so her grandpa. And her aunt, which is also the main guy's sister, is a famous tennis player in South Korea. And
Archer.
oh, sorry.
Archer. That's
Sorry. Again, my translation's a little rough.
an integral part of the story.
My translation aid, please forgive me. It's been a while since I've been in Seoul.
The family owns like a snack cart, so it has like all different kinds of food, which I think is pertinent to the story later in a way, because it kind of like, but we'll talk about that later. But like, I think this was another one of those like snack vendors or something like that they're all trying to hide in, right?
Yeah.
And they think they're going to be safe.
Nay. And so the creature goes into that trailer and starts fucking everybody up, and you see all this blood just starting to come out. And I mentioned earlier the comedic tone because it throws me off with some of the violence that we have later with this creature. And basically it fucks everybody up. me and my, that the picture of the fat person eating popcorn and watching the true crime, and they're like, and she was killed, and that person's like, idiot, I would have done this. That was me, because like they're like running parallel
With
to
their
this picture.
snowballs.
Yeah, with my snowballs. I was like, well, just turn around, run the other way. Like, if he's right next to you and he's chasing everybody else, just turn around. Let him handle everybody else, then you go the other way. But anyways, whatever. So sorry, I'm smart.
Well, I wonder if that's intentional too, because really it's showing how idiotic people are, right?
Yeah,
So you just see them like all fumbling. They're all fumbling with each other, and you don't really see anybody helping anybody else except for the one guy who's helping, but he's not really helping.
the American.
Yeah, he's not
I
really
was like,
helping to help. He's helping because he wants to be the hero.
I don't know
Well,
what his deal was, but I was like, I feel like this is a diss towards Americans, but I don't know exactly how.
Yeah,
well,
it
it's
is.
like
I read a lot of commentary on it. Like this is a heavily, um, it's a heavy satire on how Americans
view
are.
themselves.
We want to be
Yeah,
we want the fame and the glory, no matter what
Well,
stupid
I mean,
fame
choices.
and glory, but we caused a lot of the issues to begin with
yeah.
because it was the American who, and this is actually based on a true story, not
Yeah,
the water monster, ladies and gentlemen.
the beginning, the beginning
Or
of
is
5 minutes
it?
is a true
Let's
story.
start.
The
Let's start the
beginning.
ideal.
And so, and obviously this is a commentary on that, right? Because people want to look at America as we're the greatest country in the world, and we do all these great things, and you can come here and be anything you want, when in reality that's not the truth, right? I'm not saying
Mm-hmm.
that we have it bad. I don't want to say we have it horrible here, although the whole Roe versus Wade thing is really on my fucking last nerve.
We're a lot better than most places for damn sure.
Yes, a lot better than most places. However, you can tell, and I've never been to South Korea. I've never been to Asia or anything like that, but I know that you could tell throughout the film there's like a huge, I don't want to say diss, but for lack of a better term, diss towards like the political system there and how like Americans are revered there as well. So
This is when the movie actually like starts its story. I don't know his name. And I'm not going to use it because I'm going to say it wrong. But the main man, the little
his
girl's dad, Gongu or something.
I have it written down. Hold
Well,
on,
because they
y'all.
also they have like prefixes when you're talking to certain people, and so it gets kind of confusing. I wasn't lying when I said I studied Korean.
Oh, Gongdu.
Gandu. So Gandu is going because he's like, I have to get my daughter. Of course, hello, there's a monster out there. And so he grabs a child that he thinks is his daughter.
It's so horrible.
Turns out
He's
it's
such a
not.
bad dad.
I know. So the daughter gets kidnapped by this monster, everybody. With his little prehensile tail or his little dangler, whatever Lance called it, dingle dangler. Speaking of, where's your cup of ice? he, she gets grabbed. Oh yeah, soundproof. She gets grabbed and she gets taken into the water. So
Oh, before you move on, really quick though, I just want the listeners to know though, like what Mikey was saying earlier about how the film flip flops between drama, comedy, and horror, because the scene where we meet the brother and sister, it's really heartbreaking. Like they are distraught. They're very upset over the daughter's death because they at this point they think the daughter is dead. So they're all at a memorial. This is how they get
Mhm.
everybody. And the sister just crying and she's like, what? But then it starts to get funny
again, yeah.
because they all start wailing and like hitting each other and they're on the floor and all the reporters are taking pictures and it's just this huge. Then he passes out again and he's got his hand in his crotch and I'm like, what the fuck is going on in this movie?
Did either one of you ever see the Hellboy ones with Ron Perlman in it? Any of those movies?
I saw
No?
bits and pieces, not like a whole thing.
I was just thinking about it now. The monster kind of reminds me a little bit of the monster that's in the first Hellboy.
Okay.
That the Toro did.
Maybe I have seen it because there is something watching Host where I'm like, that monster looks familiar.
Yeah, if you've seen the monster in Hellboy, if you look that up, the monster in Hellboy 1 with Ron Perlman, it's actually pretty kind of similar, especially with the eyes, because the way that it like does the thing. So
yeah, I can
I
see
don't know
that.
what that came out actually. I wonder if it's in the same time frame. It's 2006, so who knows? Maybe
2004, I
somebody.
think.
Oh, really?
2004.
Anyways, This is where the movie gets really emotional for me. And it really is hard for me to watch. Like I sit there, it sounds really gay, but hello, look who's saying it. I just sit there with a heavy heart because I know what happens. And he gets the call from his daughter. Like her cell phone's barely working. She says she's in some sort of sewer and that the monster is down there with her and she's basically hiding. And what she's doing is she's pretending she's dead around all the dead bodies when the monster comes around. And then they're like, okay, we got to find her. So I think half of the movie is them just trying to get into the sewer.
Did you find that comedic when it was like like I guess the dad hired a crew to drive him out of there or get him out of there, like to like open the door? Like they don't really specifically
The
like
gangsters?
well, yeah, like I guess the dad hired somebody, but like you never really have that moment where the dad's showingly talking to gangsters to get them out of there. Like these moments happen, like editing wise, it's like boom, now we're out. Boom, boom, now we have our clothes back. Boom, boom, we're in a van.
Well,
And
it
then
shows.
you have
Okay.
that scene where like they're like now they're like writing to the total of how that was like really
Yeah.
funny. Was like he's like okay, so bodily harm to us maybe check da, 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 da. Like when
Yeah.
the father's just sitting there like going I don't have this money. Like
Maybe I'm on my period, guys, because yeah, the tone for that is light and comedic, but I know what happens. And the fact that their stat is literally all of his credit cards are out. He's spending everything he has. And the granddaughter's what connects the whole family. And that's why
Yeah.
they're all going to find her, the aunt, the uncle, the dad, and the grandpa. And there are light moments, but it is a bummer for me. And I was just watching it, I was like, "Ugh, get this movie over with already."
but they randomly they enter this little brother and little
Yeah.
two little brothers, that are young, that are like obviously homeless and street kids, I guess you would say, and they're trying to take advantage of the moment where there's no one at these I guess what like cart trucks with all the
No,
foods by
because
the way.
everything's on lockdown because they know the
Yeah.
monster's there.
Yeah.
So the little boys sneak in through the sewers so they
COVID
could go.
again.
Yeah, but so they could
Seriously.
sneak into the family. So the other family who were looking for the daughter, they sneak into the snack car and they steal food. They don't take any money and they make a whole thing about it, but they take the food. And I thought that they had introduced them because the first thing the aunt asks is how many days has she been in there and not eaten?
Yeah.
Like that was their biggest worry because they were like, well, she's down there starving. And so I thought, well, he's going to take the boys to the sewer, probably just like he did with her.
You
And
thought
they're
it was
going
a
to have
bridge.
all the food that they stole on them. So at least they can eat and survive. Like
Right.
that's what I was thinking. And when that didn't happen, I was like,
Yeah.
so now she's down there taking care of herself and taking care of this little boy because unfortunately the older brother dies.
So yeah, so we're gonna get into the ending because everything else is action, Poor
Well,
grandpa doesn't make it.
grandpa, yeah, and the way he doesn't make it, I think, is very indicative of the main character and the fact that he just can't do anything right. Like he literally
Can't
cannot
seem to
do.
count.
But honestly, even if he had one bullet, you think it would work?
Yeah.
Yeah. What I liked is that, and it's funny because every time I watch Asian movies, I always think this. The family's very Hispanic. Like it's a very Hispanic vibe with the family.
All three of our laughs were like this.
Yeah. Haha, sad but true. Um,
No wonder we hated it so much.
well, I don't know if maybe it's just, when we watch these movies with these happy white families, if they just like to lie and they really do have problems like this, or maybe we're just more
It's called the
passionate.
50s.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, but I think there is a cultural dynamic to that too, because when you are around people who are affluent or whatever and do have that, that they have problems, but they're very good at keeping it
Hmm.
to themselves, right? Like you don't know until like one person finds out and then, somebody
Yeah.
posts something on Facebook when they were drunk, Aunt Lulu in the middle of the night, and then the whole family knows. But
Aunt
like
Lulu, aid.
Ooh.
but like, I just think that and plus they repress their feelings too, because like I see that in a lot of like people that I know, like everything's just kind of swept under the rug and like, you know.
Mhm. Grandpa doesn't make it because our main character miscounted how many bullets were left. When he said there was one, there was actually 0. So he gets knocked in the head by the monster, but then also swung across the concrete, smashed against. It was
Like the Hulk with the
yeah,
Loki.
Blondie.
yeah, but
Was
only
it
once.
Loki?
It was
Oh,
Loki.
oh yeah, that was Loki.
That was the only Avengers movie I've
I
seen.
thought it
so
was
yes.
with Thor. I couldn't remember, but yes, it was Loki.
I think didn't he do it to Thor also?
He punches Thor. He slams.
Why are you rolling your
Loki
eyes when
back
you
and forth.
talking to us about this? My goodness, I'm sorry we don't know.
How dare you?
Yeah.
My nerdism is just like it's like ugh. That's like how you guys feel when I say some random word wrong. It's like you don't let it fly, so I can't let this fly. So there it goes. We're even.
Wow.
Boom. Go on. Love
Look
it.
at him, his little
Anyway.
tit for tat. He's so vengeful.
He's so petty. Petty
I
mayonnaise over here.
know.
I learned from the best.
Well, I don't know who that
Absolutely not.
There was that moment where like it's asleep. She throws a can at the monster to see if he'll like wake up easily, and then she does the whole run and jump on thing, and she's climbing the thing. And I at this moment was like, oh come on. Did it wake up? Did it move? And then you realize it had wrapped its tail around her and goes, oh no, I got you. Like it was like that was like one of those like it sucked because I was like, oh, she's almost out. Like that's
Yeah.
so messed up. Like I was happy. I mean, obviously it didn't have a tail where it could have like stabbed her, but like it grabbed her, and I'm thinking, oh man, and then puts her down on the ground. So you know that like the creature has to be somewhat cognizant of
Yeah.
Cognizant, dear.
yes.
Good job.
He's abbreviating. It's fine.
Cognizant. Sound it out.
Yeah. It's kind of a bummer of a movie, even though it pretends it's not by being comical. So
Well, I think it's intentional. It's obviously intentional because I mean, what do we have but to just laugh, right? Like that's all you have left at this point. I mean,
Yeah.
so again, great film, beautifully shot. Will I be watching it again? Absolutely no. No.
yeah.
Can't do it.
Mhm.
So Patreon members, don't recommend this movie again, please.
I recommend you watch it at least one time.
Yeah.
I think it's worth at least one watch.
Well, see, here's the thing, like to wrap up the overall, does anybody have final thoughts before I wrap up the
That was my
thoughts?
final thought.
Lance?
Oh. My final thought was basically